Hello everybody, Average Gamer here, and welcome to a special little video, I hope, where today we're going to be talking about things that I like about Supreme Ruler Ultimate and Power and Revolution, that I think should be in Superpower 3. Long term, obviously, because some of these things are not going to be in at any time soon. I will say this, I do have a wish list video that'll be coming up, once I get about 5 or 6 more ideas. I will also warn you too, the screen might be acting a little weird, things might be acting a little funky. There's a reason for that. So, I am currently running Supreme Ruler Ultimate, Superpower 3, and Power and Revolution. So my plan is to go through each game and close them as I'm going. So the screen may be a little flickery and a little weird. But we're going to hopefully change that. So here, first things, Supreme Ruler Ultimate. So this is Supreme Ruler Ultimate. For those of you who don't know, it's a strategy game. Kind of political, kind of economic, but mostly towards the military aspect of things. Certain things in this game that I would like to see that are in this, that I want to see in Superpower 3. Number one is more unit types. So this game, when it comes to unit types, is ridiculous. So here's the ground types. You got infantry, recon, tanks, anti-tank, artillery, anti-air, and transport. Transport, not needed, and anti-tank, not needed. But we can use recon, infantry units, artillery, and anti-air defense. I think are very important. Right now we just have infantry and tanks and mobile launchers. In my opinion, we should have artillery, recon units, and air defense units. Now, I also want to mention that I don't know why there's a lack of units in the game. I've asked, and I haven't got an answer about it. If it's a sprite issue or a processing issue, I think we should have the option to turn sprites on and off, and instead of having sprites, use NATO counters. If you don't know what NATO counters are, they're basically what we used, for me in the Canadian Forces. So like infantry is a box with an X, armor is a box with kind of like an oval, mechanized infantry, which is the armor personnel carriers, infantry fighting vehicles, things like that. It's a box, but it's a circle. It's the same circle as a tank because it's armored, and then it has an X because it's infantry. It's basically mechanized infantry or armored infantry, is another word for it. Artillery, same box with the cannonball in the center. Air defense is basically just a circle. Depending on the type, it kind of changes a little bit, but boom, there we have our air defense units. Now for artillery and air defense, we can probably still use one option and build it as artillery. You select artillery, but then you select whether you want it to be anti-air artillery or AAA, which is where it originally came from, anti-aircraft artillery, or regular artillery. So you pick ground or air. And then from there, it locks out certain options, which I think would be pretty cool. Infantry, same, technically they would only need to add 2 things. Like a mechanized unit, or armor personnel carriers, APCs. So put it as just mechanized infantry, or even just APC. Set it up as that, and then artillery, or even as the tank option. Have the tank option still. Don't even add another option in. Just add an option that we can select when building. I don't want to build a tank, I want to build an armor personnel carrier. And basically, whatever the back end numbers are, so say like a tank at tier 1 has an armor value of 100, then just half it. So the armor value of an APC is 50. And because we have the sprites turned on, we don't need to see what armor personnel carriers look like. We have the little circle with the little X. Boom, done. No more need for that. Ships, same thing, tons of ship models, but we should be able to just say, I want to build a ground unit, a land unit, an air unit, and then specifically pick out the things I want to build on it, and then just spit out a NATO counter on the map. Done. Missiles. I want to be able to build missiles in the game and supply them, and we don't have to load them up. I mean, this game you have to load them up, which kind of sucks, but don't have to worry about the the moving of the missiles around the country, but have the ability to be like, I want to order, or I want to build X type of missile. Tomahawk cruise missiles, slammers, exocets, etc., etc., etc. Be able to be like specifically anti-shipping missiles, anti-aircraft missiles. Are not even anti-aircraft, but mostly like ballistic missiles, cruise missiles, transonic. The current missile that I can't think of the thing that it is, but the ridiculously new missiles that are coming out now. I want those in the game. I also want the ability to see what my reserve personnel numbers are. How many people do I actually have employed in the military? And additionally, how many people do I currently have deployed? With that, I wouldn't mind being able to modify how much money I spend on their training. I would like to see how much money I spend on their salaries and modify that. Be able to see how much money I'm spending specifically on overall unit production. Why unit production? Because I want to be able to build more than one unit. For example, here, you build facilities to then give you the ability to build more stuff. I wouldn't mind that. I wouldn't mind the ability to be like, hey, I want to spend this year's budget for Canada. We're going to be giving $44 billion to the military to build facilities to produce. The more money you spend, the faster you can produce the units. In addition, it unlocks more slots for you to build, which I think is cool. Same with warships, aircraft, and missiles. I like that. I really do actually like that. The ability to change how much money you're spending on preparedness, like the actual training of the units, and maintenance of the units, like right here. These things that are in this game, I would like to see in Superpower 3. In addition, simple line of sight, proper line of sight. So for example, I'm going to unpause here. Hopefully the game doesn't go full wiggy. You can see here, these areas are darker here and they're lighter here. It's because I had quote unquote line of sight. If I send an aircraft, you'll see that it unlocks a line of sight. Now what it does is the further away it is, the less accurate it is, but it can see up to a certain amount of kilometers. And if it detects something, it pops up on the map, and after a certain amount of time, if it hasn't been redetected, it disappears. Right now, there is no real line of sight. So you'll see that, even these areas where it's already been, they're already starting to kind of break in a little bit, right? And I think proper line of sight would be something that's a very good idea. So here's an example. We just saw, for a split second, a warship. I think it was a Japanese warship, but I don't know. So I can actually get this hunter here and be like, hey, what was over here? Boom. We now can see yet again. It's the Hosho aircraft carrier that the Japanese have. Now I can do airstrikes on that carrier because I found it because of the fog of war. Right now there's no real fog of war system in Superpower 3 that I know there's one in there, but it just doesn't feel right. You can click on a country and see anything on it, and I feel like there's no cloak and daggeriness to it. If I was playing against someone, they would know, hey, if I bring up the stats on this Sea Hunter that's currently going across my borders, it can see up to 225 kilometers. Now, it's not 100% at that max range, but I know it can see a certain distance into my country while it flies along my border. So it kind of gives you an idea of all that stuff. So that's a lot of the stuff in Superpower and in Supreme Ruler. It's mostly about the units, the amount of units that you can use, the fact that there's proper fog of war, and things like that. So we're going to close out to hopefully not burn my computer up. And then we're going to look at Power and Revolution. So Power and Revolution, the thing I like here... Ooh, it's not... There it is. Okay, so Power and Revolution, the thing I really like here is the tax system, which... I think it's under finance? Nope. Politics Gaming is going to look at this and be cringing the entire time. So revenue. So here you have your vehicle taxes, your company taxes, and all that stuff. But you can create your own types of taxes. Would love that. Love to be able to throw in a tax here and there. Carbon tax, highway tolls, deforestation, you name it. And then also be able to remove them, which is cool. The ability to tax different income brackets. Now, mind you, this is middle class, lower class, upper class technically is made up, but like be like, hey, so anyone who makes under this dollar value, anyone who makes between A and B dollar value, and then anyone who makes between B and above, we tax them. Be able to set legislation in your country. I think passing laws, bills, whatever you want to call them, acts, would be an amazing thing to be able to do in this game. To be able to spend specific money on internal cultural things. So like how many hockey rinks you have, or even just spending money on, grassroots sports, or youth associations and things like that. And that should affect, obviously, your ability to get voted or whatever. I also would like to see the UN in the game. Be able to put pressure on other countries for one thing or another. Power and Revolution has something, and so does Supreme Ruler, where you can build military bases. It's not so great in Power and Revolution. I should have showed you back in Supreme Ruler, but those two, you can build a military base. I would love the ability to build a military base. I can have air bases. Why can't I build a military base? Or even just tell a province, hey, build me a base. And it just pops up on the map randomly. Basically just have it spawn on, or even be able to say, hey, I want to build a military base. I want to build it. And then you just say that you pick a province, and it gives you the names of all the cities and towns, or a region. And then you get to pick the town, and that town then turns into, on the map, boom, a military base. Or operating base. Whatever. Special interest groups. I would love to have special interest groups in the game, where you can influence them, and then that affects your culture and all that stuff. I would love to have that. We already have religion, things like that, but key figures as well, people that your character can interact with. Yeah. No, I just want to quit. But that's what I would love to see in Superpower. Like I said, the kind of like the ideas from those games kind of brought in. Now, I know they can't actually bring in the exact same ideas, copyright rules and all that stuff, but I do have a wish list video coming up very, very soon. So far, I've got, I don't know, maybe 14. My idea is to get at least 14 things that I want to see in the diplomacy budget, the politics, demographics, military stuff, and budgeting. And then other. For me, the only other thing I think of is a ledger, but, line go up simulator. But yeah, so with all that in mind, those are my thoughts as to what's in those games that should be in this one. Honestly, I think Superpower 3, now that I understand there's way more under the hood than we have access to right now, I'm starting to get more and more loftier in my predictions as to what can happen. Now, one of the beautiful things about what I'm saying, I'm pretty sure is all be able to be modded in. So, shall I, once the tools are out? I don't know. I'll have to think about it. But with that in mind, thanks for watching. I really appreciate you watching my video. You could have been watching anything else, but you watched mine, so thank you very much. And I will see you soon and in the next one. Bye-bye.